There is word out of Camp Lejeune. And as you know, because if you're on social media at all, they hit you with that Camp Lejeune. Were you at Camp Lejeune, you might have a claim against the U.S. government. There are more cancers now linked to tainted water at Camp Lejeune. Military and civilian personnel who lived and worked at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina in the mid-70s and 80s are more likely to be diagnosed with certain cancers compared with those stationed at similar military bases in California during that same period. This is a new government study. Drinking water at Camp Lejeune was heavily contaminated with a number of cancer-causing industrial chemicals.
Guess who drank that water?
Your husband, I think.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Trichloroethylene, or TCE, vinyl chloride, benzene. From 1953 to 1985, it contaminated the water. Hundreds of thousands of service members in the Marines and Navy, as well as civilians employed at the base, unwittingly exposed to the chemicals as they drank that water. Or even steam in the shower. If you inhale it that way, it's still getting into your system. Studies have shown that people exposed to the contaminated water were more likely to die of certain blood and organ cancers and about 70% more likely to get Parkinson's disease. This is not a general study worldwide. I mean, there are those studies. That's how we know these are damaging chemicals. But this is, in previous studies, this group is those from Camp Lejeune who contracted these illnesses. There's also been questions about birth defects and infertility. This is the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. They launched this study. So they launched it in 2015. They were looking at the risk of developing cancer on the base there at Camp Lejeune. And it was in a court fight. And you know there is a tremendous amount of civil litigation associated with this. And last year, attorneys for people who believed they were harmed by Camp Lejeune's water asked a federal judge to compel the government to release the study findings. So they had the study, but the results of the study, they had to get a court order to actually get that information. And so you only have a certain amount of time to sue, as you're aware, and that's why there was kind of a game being played to delay the results of this. Under a federal law passed in 2022, people who believe they've been harmed by contaminated drinking water at Camp Lejeune have until August of this year to file a claim with the government. So far, more than 160,000 claims have been filed. Are you guys filing a claim, Kim?
No, you have to, in order to file a claim, you have to have one of these very specific cancers. And many of the people that my husband served with in the Marines have passed away, the people in his unit, from one of these cancers, or have a different type of cancer that they're pretty sure they wouldn't have gotten unless they started drinking all this water. Maybe an obscure, weird type of cancer, something like this. Or they have a host of health problems that no one in their family has, and they think it's, but it's very hard to tie these health problems to this specific incident at Camp Lejeune. And so my husband has a host of health issues, but none of them are the specific health issues listed in the, you get money if you have this, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I know they're always looking to skate from responsibility, and they'll do it that way by going, well, what you have is not exactly what is represented in the study, and for that reason, you're not eligible for any kind of... It just feels as though, particularly when it comes to the military, because everybody claims to, thank you for your service, we want to take care of you, appreciate your sacrifice, but when the actual rubber meets the road and it comes to the health of those, I mean, the burn pit's another example in Iraq, where service people were exposed to all of those toxins that were in the air. We're just not there. We're not there as a country. I have ex-Marine friends that are all messed up from going through basic there. 2 have died, says Michael. Yeah. It's a tragedy on a tragedy, It's as you're aware, I mean, I think the scandal is manifestly evident. The military gets away with a lot.
Yep.
They dine out on the fact that they're the military and they make those sacrifices. But we send our men and women into very difficult situations. And then, in the safety of Camp Lejeune or wherever, they are exposed to things that will ultimately kill them and hasten their death.
Well,
It's just,
if you look at least military bases around here, military installations where in the Bay Area, you've got Treasure Island, toxic. You've got Bayview Hunters Point, right? The old shipyard, toxic. You've got Mare Island and Vallejo, toxic. The Alameda, toxic. There's water tainting issues. There's soil issues all over. Wherever the military has been, when they leave, it's uncovered that there's all kinds of environmental hazards.
Yeah, and you know something? The only way, it's sad, but the only way you get the government to account, or even corporate polluters to account, for example, because the toxification of water supplies isn't just limited to the military. Obviously, you have to prove it, is in court. And you can call the attorneys who are involved in this, you can call them ambulance chasers or whatever. You need them. There is, I mean, it's an Aaron Brockovich kind of job they're doing. And it took dogged determination on the part of these attorneys. Michael Partain is one of them. I don't know the other guy's name, but Partain and his partner, they worked to get the government. They've been working on this for decades to get the government to own what was going on at Camp Lejeune. And they finally got this study that the government did that was damning to the government, that talked about the toxicity of Camp Lejeune. They finally got that stuff out. And so I say, bravo. There was a veteran who actually was working with Partain, a guy named Jerry Ensminger. I'm just seeing here, he's 71 years old. And they have been working to get the government to recognize and compensate sick veterans who served at Camp Lejeune. And you can go beyond just Camp Lejeune, as Kim just did. And Ensminger's wife, he's the veteran. She lived on the base when she was pregnant with their second daughter, Janie, who developed leukemia at age 6 and later died.
Damn it.
And Partain, diagnosed with male breast cancer, and he thinks his cancer was connected to his exposure to toxins in the womb. So you've got another generation that came up after their folks were at Camp Lejeune, and now they're paying the price, all because of these toxic chemicals that are connected to cancer.
A lot of these people will still develop issues because of this. And the date to file is what, August 1st? And
yeah,
that's it?
August of this year.
And so then what, there's no recourse after that? That's frustrating as well.
But the good news in this is that this study is out there, and there will be court cases and there will be filings. And hopefully, I mean, it doesn't, you'd like them to clean this up, you know, but the reality is that maybe the only way to hold the government to account and for the future is through these court cases. So there's that.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.